This week's episode of History of the Known World is again brought to you by Archelana Milk. I don't know if you are a fan of Archelana Milk or not. It's one of the most wonderful products known to humankind. There are so few things that can put a jump in your step and a Z in your sleep. Try Archelana Milk from your favorite mercantile establishment, and always remember the jingle, Archelana Milk is the one to drink if you're only drinking one. Please be sure to use responsible and limit your intake to 500 milliliters during any 12-hour period for your own health and safety. My name is Professor Wimbleshades, and this is History of the Known World. Last week, I brought you Mythmander's story, the first of 12 parts of the wonderful story from the Tales of the Tumult Season 1, Amongst the Confluence. I hope you enjoyed that story, because today we're going to listen to Part 2. Join me now for Mythmander's Tales of the Tumult. This is Episode 2, Walking, Atlas. It was not always an easy road, if there was a road at all. My father would usually be in the lead. He held the sickle, reaping the vines and younglings, clearing the way to make my journey easier. He would carry what I then called the vase as we walked, strapped to his belt, its aura pointing up, a shadow rather than a light encircling us and keeping us safe from the tumult. When he was not in front, it was because I was too tired to walk. Then my uncle would trudge in front, ducking and weaving his head, avoiding the overbrush rather than slicing it, and my father would hoist me upon his shoulders. There, it felt like nothing could hurt me. I could see so much further. I could tell that the trees were more than just long, ever-reaching stumps, that there was a blue sky and clouds beyond the leafy canopies, that the world offered more than just dust, mud, and trampled greens. Even with his sweat soaking my pants, I felt no discomfort. It was like being a giant on top of a protector. When we would stop, and we had to often because my uncle would need rest, I would climb off his shoulders and find a stick and dig in the dirt, dragging it through the paths of ants, or finding fallen leaves to fold until they would break into chunks. On afternoons it was too hot, we would stop early and nap until it had cooled, snack on yesterday's leftovers, and then walk in the evening. If it was cold when we awoke, we would start walking after packing and eat a hot meal when we stopped for lunch along the trail. Some days my father would leave, and my uncle and I would spend the day talking. He would share stories from days of his childhood, memories that reminded me of the wooden cabin and the oasis. When my father would return later that day or the next, his pack was always full, and there was always a big meal. Some days the tumult found us. We would huddle in the tent, the vase's hazy light stretching between us. We would sit and wait, hardly a word shared, as the tumult spread around us. Sometimes it was a wave, a peaceful drift of colors and shapes, like a more colorful northern lights, reaching out to us and greeting us. Other times it was an angry, howling animal, crushing nature around us, shaking the ground, shattering whatever was there. But no matter what happened during the day, every evening, my uncle would drag out of our fire a piece of charcoal. He would take his knife and trim one edge of the blackness to a point, and then write on the ceiling of the canvas tent, lines over lines over lines, dots upon dots, words in a tiny script. When I finally had the courage to ask what it was, he said we were making a map of the oasis.